When the little girl's kindness unleashed a dark family secret for the lonely CEO in the heart of a city bustling with ambition, a lonely CEO named Arthur Malloy sat in his high-rise office, overlooking a landscape of cold steel and glass. He had everything: a sprawling empire of success, a sleek sports car, and wealth beyond imagination. But empty echoes filled his office, drowning out any sense of happiness. Beneath the polished surface of his life, darkness lurked like a hidden predator. Little did he know that one chance encounter was about to unleash a deeply buried family secret that could shatter his world. One fateful afternoon, as the sun dipped low, an innocent girl named Lily wandered into his building, lost and alone. Her untamed blonde hair danced around her shoulders like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. With her large blue eyes, she saw something in Arthur, something that others overlooked: a soul in desperate need of connection. She approached him, her small voice breaking the silence. "Are you sad, mister?" Those 8 simple words cut through Arthur's carefully constructed facade like a hot knife through butter. He swallowed hard, feeling something knot firmly in his chest. Lily didn't belong in an office like his. She wore a worn-out pink dress, and her shoes were scuffed from days of play. Yet in her hand, she clutched a fluffy teddy bear, its stitched smile a reminder of innocence untouched by the world's sins. Arthur felt an unexpected warmth rise within him, an ember flickering in his heart where only frost remained. As Lily chatted about her day, her cheerful laughter echoed in stark contrast to the drab office walls. An odd tension tightened in the air, like a rubber band stretched too far. Arthur's mind raced with memories he thought he could bury forever, whispers about family mysteries and a legacy he never wanted to confront. Things he'd buried deep beneath layers of success and solitude. Each laugh from the little girl seemed to peel back a layer of his guarded heart, revealing pieces of a past he had tried to outrun. But just then, a flicker caught Arthur's eye: an old family portrait framed on his desk. In it, he saw familiar faces, but one stood out. His eyes widened as shadows danced in the edges of his memory. Lily's laughter faded, replaced by a chilling silence as he stared at the uncanny resemblance between her and a figure from his childhood, a woman he hadn't thought about in years. "Who are you?" he murmured, his breath hitching in his throat. "Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect." As the question hung in the air, Arthur felt his pulse quicken. The image of Lily marred the once clear landscape of his thoughts. What was she doing here? Who had sent her? And why did it feel like fate was unearthing long-buried secrets that he had spent a lifetime trying to forget? With tension crackling in the air, the truth loomed just beyond reach, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. As Lily tilted her head curiously, Arthur's mind spiraled. Was it really possible? Could a simple act of kindness unravel his entire existence? Arthur's heart raced, a blend of confusion and horror painting his mind. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in on him as he battled a tidal wave of emotions. He struggled to maintain composure in the presence of the little girl who had inadvertently become a doorway to his past. Who are you?" he stammered again, trying to mask the tremor in his voice. The question hung thick in the stillness, a tangible thread weaving through a tapestry of dread. Lily tilted her head, eyes wide, unbothered by the weight of his query. "I'm Lily. I came here to find my mommy, but I got lost." Her innocent explanation wrapped around him like a chilling whisper, intertwining his present with echoes of the past. Arthur could say he felt sorry for the girl. But somewhere deep down, amidst the mounting anxiety, it struck him painfully this might be more than a coincidence. Her resemblance to the woman in the portrait was uncanny. The same tousled hair, the same vivid blue eyes. Memories surged through him like electric currents: childhood weekends spent with his family, laughter echoing through their home, and the haunting day when everything changed. "Your mommy?" he echoed, barely keeping his voice steady. "Do you know your mommy's name?" "Her name is Emily." "Emily Malloy," she said, her eyes bright with innocence. The name struck him like a physical blow. Emily, the woman whose laughter had filled their home before it all shattered. Secrets wrapped in thin layers of dust now stirred, threatening to break free from their confines. "Do you know where your mommy is?" he managed to ask, his heart hammering within his chest, a wild drum circle heralding uncertainty. Lily shook her head, her tiny brow furrowing. "She's gone, but I think she needs help." His thoughts raced back to that unimaginable day, the day he lost his family in the cacophony of unspoken words and neglected responsibilities. He had been so small, helpless to prevent the storm. Arthur pushed aside the creeping dread and leaned closer, his voice steadying. "Why do you think she needs help?" "I had a dream." Lily's eyes sparkled with fervor. "A bad dream." "There were shadows, and they said she was sad." Chills danced down Arthur's spine. Shadows? The very metaphor hung in his life like a shroud since the day he had chosen ambition over connection. Could the past be reaching for him, dragging him into its abyss? The shadows shift again as Lily fiddled with her teddy bear, its soft fur a reminder of simple joys. "Can you help me find her?" she pleaded, her voice softening, yet laden with an unseen power. He was torn. The responsibilities tied to his empire weighed against the bond forming with this little girl, this potential link to his past. Could he help her? The air thickened. Arthur looked into the trusting gaze of Lily, the girl unaware of how much she represented. A flicker of hope ignited amidst the chaos. The choice was his: walk away, dismissing her plea, or plunge back into the depths of secrets he had buried long ago. "Lily," he said, his voice low and firm, "we'll find her. But first, I need to know everything you remember about your mommy." The corners of her lips lifted, the innocence radiating from her glow illuminating the dark corners of his heart. But as an echo of a muffled voice swept through the air, warning him of what lay ahead, dread coiled tightly around Arthur once more. "Let us go," he said, determination filling his veins. But as they stepped towards the door, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone in this endeavor, and someone or something was watching from the shadows, what awaited them outside. With every step into the unknown, the truth edged closer. The door creaked ominously as Arthur and Lily stepped into the dim hallway. Shadows seemed to stretch and twist along the walls, flickering in the light of the weak bulbs above. Each step reverberated through the stillness, but Arthur felt a formidable silence surrounding them, as if the building itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. "Are you scared?" Lily asked suddenly, her voice a whisper, yet achingly sincere. He hesitated, caught off guard. Despite his attempt to project strength, the chill of uncertainty settled like a stone in his stomach. "Not scared. Just cautious," he replied. But even to his ears, it sounded weak. Lily nodded, gripping her teddy bear tightly, its worn fur an anchor for her tiny fingers. "You know, my mommy always says you have to be brave to find what you want." A pang shot through him. How long had it been since he felt truly brave? How long had the weight of his choices tied him down? "Let us be brave together, then," he said, the words filling his chest like a breath of fresh air. As they moved deeper into the hallway, Arthur's instinct screamed at him. The air felt dense, layered with memories he thought he'd buried. He was a master of his own empire, but standing here with Lily, he felt like a boy again, vulnerable and lost. He was drawn to her, not just by her innocence but by the thread of fate that pulled them into an ancient tale of regret and sorrow. "Tell me about your dream again," he urged softly, glancing down at her. Lily's face lit up. "There were shadows in my dream." "They whispered, Arthur. They said she was sad and needed me. And mommy has a necklace, a heart. If we find the necklace, we can find her." "A heart necklace?" It tugged at an old memory, the memory of a silver heart that glimmered like trapped sunlight. Arthur's chest tightened. Do you have a picture of it? Lily shook her head. I just remember the colors. It was shiny like the stars. Arthur's thoughts raced. There was a box in the attic, a box filled with remnants of a life he wanted to forget. Could it really be there? Was it possible the thing tying him to a little girl and her lost mother was buried in the remains of his past? Okay, Lily, he said, urgency creeping into his voice, we're going to the attic. They made their way up the narrow staircase, each creak echoing the rising tension in Arthur's chest. As they reached the top, a heavy door stood before them. He hesitated, glancing back at Lily whose unwavering gaze urged him on. With one firm push, he swung it open, and the dust swirled around them like a long-lost memory. The attic was a sea of forgotten things, clothes draped over boxes and old furniture lying in corners. Arthur peered around, searching for that familiar shape, his heart pounding. He could feel time slipping through his fingers, and with it, a chance to stitch history back together. Is it in there? Lily asked, pointing toward a large cardboard box that sat ominously in the far corner. Maybe. He approached it slowly, almost hesitantly, as if it might bite. The air grew colder as he reached for the lid, dust flying off in clouds that reflected the dim light trickling through the small window. Arthur? Lily's voice turned uncertain, almost fragile. He paused, his heart racing, sensing a shift. The once silent attic felt charged with electricity, the kind you feel before a storm. Something was off. He wasn't alone. Before he could turn around, a deep voice filled the air, heavy and suffocating. You shouldn't have come here. The darkness seemed to thicken around them, pressing in like a vice. Arthur's breath caught. The shadows were alive, swirling and forming into something more sinister. What had they disturbed? Who was hiding in the depths of the attic's secrets? The truth loomed over them like a predator, ready to strike. And as a cold hand gripped the back of Arthur's neck, he realized they were closer to unveiling the haunting legacy of his past than he'd ever anticipated. Would they survive the darkness? Arthur's heart pounded in his chest, adrenaline surging through him like wildfire. Lily gripped his leg, her eyes wide with fear, reflecting the dim light of the attic. The voice that had spoken sent chills down his spine, but he couldn't show weakness now. Not in front of Lily. Who's there? He called out, trying to mask the tremor in his voice. You shouldn't have disturbed the ashes of the past. The voice echoed again, colder this time, and closer. It came from the shadows, a hulking figure barely outlined in the gloom, shrouded in layers of forgotten memories and hurt. Arthur, Lily whispered, pulling at his pant leg, I'm scared, I know. Just stay close, he replied, forcing himself to sound steady. The shadows shifted, writhing like venomous snakes. Panic threatened to choke him, but he swallowed it down. He needed to think. Who are you? He demanded again, stepping forward, shielding Lily with his body. Does it matter? The voice sneered, sounding like a mix of hurt and contempt. You've summoned me by digging up that which should remain hidden. Arthur's mind raced. Digging up? Was it about the box? The contents might reveal secrets he had kept buried, secrets he thought were lost forever. I'm looking for something, a necklace. The dark figure chuckled, a low, unsettling sound that vibrated in the air. A necklace? So innocent, little boy. But the heart you seek is no treasure. It's a curse that binds shattered souls. Shattered souls. The phrase penetrated his mind like a needle. What do you mean? His chest tightened with a mix of confusion and dread. Your past is tethered to the girl, to the mother, the voice echoed with a mocking lilt. There are connections here, choices made that you can't escape. The necklace is a key, but to what? To grief? To regret? Lily's little hands trembled and she started to back away, her teddy bear dangling limply from her grip. Don't listen to it, Arthur. I want to go home. No, Arthur said fiercely, grounding himself. He couldn't let fear drive them out. We have to find out what this is about. We can't just run away. You have no idea what you're facing, the figure warned, its shadowy form beginning to resolve into an outline, a gaunt face twisted in sorrow. Your family's legacy has been tainted. Dark secrets don't vanish, they linger, festering in the corners of memory like a mold. Arthur's head spun. He thought he had cleansed himself of their influence. He thought he understood his past. But deep within him, a realization took form. Regret was like the darkness closing in around them. What is keeping her from me? Lily cried, her little voice small but filled with determination. Mommy needs me. I know she is sad. I have to find her. Suddenly, the shadows erupted, swelling with a life of their own, coiling and twisting around the edges of the attic like dark smoke. Arthur felt an icy rush envelope him, and with it, a surge of memories, faces lost, laughter silenced, love poisoned by lies. You may find her, little girl, the voice hissed, as the shadows flickered ominously. But to do so, you must confront the truth. The price is steep, blood will spill, and bonds will be tested. The cold grip of fear clutched Arthur's heart. He understood now, they weren't just searching for a necklace. They were on the brink of unraveling a horrific family legacy that could drown them both. Could he truly protect Lily and confront whatever specter haunted this attic? As he took a step closer to the center of the darkness, he propelled himself forward, aware of the weight of history and secrets pressing down. And just when Arthur thought he was ready to face whatever emerged, a flicker of light ignited from within the shadows, revealing a flickering image, a glimpse of a woman, her figure standing sentinel, clutching something gleaming at her neck. That eye and the haunting echoes of his past. Lily squeezed her bear tighter. Arthur, is that her? Before he could respond, the attic trembled, the shadows swirling angrily, and a low rumble thundered in the air as if the whole house was awakening to their intrusion. Find the necklace. The figure hissed, or lose her forever. The attic door slammed shut with a deafening thud, sealing them in darkness. Arthur closed his eyes, his heart racing. There was no turning back now. But could he summon the courage to face the ghosts of his past? The answer loomed ahead like a storm. And as the shadows closed in around them, Arthur made a promise: he would uncover the truth, and nothing would stop him. But would they find what they were searching for, or would the price prove too high? The darkness felt alive, pressing against Arthur and Lily like a thick fog. The low rumble still vibrated in his bones, and with every passing second, the shadows seemed to whisper more secrets, more anguish. What do we do? Lily's voice shook, cracking like ice under pressure. He looked around, the dim light flickering, barely illuminating the old boxes and family trinkets. We find the necklace, he replied, his voice steady even as fear gnawed at his insides. Whatever that means, we need to keep moving. He crouched down, focusing on the floor, hoping to find something, maybe a clue, or a path forward. The edges of the attic were tangled in darkness, but now, they seemed to pulse with an emotional weight, beckoning him deeper. Lily, hold my hand. She reached out, her tiny palm cold and clammy against his. The connection gave him strength. He swept the beam of his flashlight over the space and paused. A glint caught his eye up high, just out of reach. A battered chest sat on a shelf, its latch rusted with abandonment, yet something dangled from it like a lost hope. Lily, he said, tilting his head, can you see that up there? That might be it. Go, Arthur. She whispered, her eyes locked on the chest, radiating an innocent hope that melted the icy tendrils of fear within him. He climbed onto a nearby stack of old furniture, heart racing higher as he barely balanced on the edge, arms reaching up. With each second, a cold dread loomed over him, and the shadows seemed to withdraw slightly, as if they understood the weight of his desire to uncover the past. Just as his fingertips brushed the edge of the chest, a sudden pulse of darkness surged through the attic. The air shifted, heavy as if it held years of sorrow. Arthur gasped, nearly losing his balance. Arthur! Lily called, fear creeping into her voice. Something's wrong. He steadied himself and yanked hard on the latch, feeling it break free. The chest creaked open, exhaling a musty sigh that spoke of memories long forgotten. Arthur peered inside, heart hammering now. The interior was lined with faded photographs. The faces staring back at him were as haunting as the shadows lengthening around them. His mother, her smile beautiful yet melancholic, was draped in a necklace. The very one they had come searching for. Heart racing, he pulled out one picture and held it to the dim light. "It's her." He gasped between breaths. "It's Mommy." Lily leaned closer, a flicker of joy sparking in her eyes. "What does she have on, Arthur?" Is it before she could finish, the air shifted again, trembling like the hushed whispers of grief. A shadow darted from behind a dusty box, and in that instant, every muscle in Arthur's body tensed with primal fear. "Who dares disturb the slumber of the past?" shrieked the voice, shriller now, echoing louder through the cramped attic. "Lily, stay back." He pulled her behind him, eyes fixed on the source of the voice. The figure emerged fully, an echo of sorrow and rage mixed in one. "You must leave before your fate is sealed." "But we're almost there," Arthur shouted, fear igniting his resolve. "We have to know the truth. You can't stop us." The figure's face contorted in anguish, shadowy hands reaching out. "The truth comes at a cost. Bloodshed, tears, and regrets. Are you willing to pay it?" "I'll do anything for her." Arthur's voice trembled, fueled by desperation. A grim laugh resonated around them. "Then find the necklace, brave boy. But know this: the journey won't merely unearth memories, it might awaken the darkest secrets that have layered your family's legacy." As Arthur grasped the photograph tighter, he could feel a warm pulse emerging from the shadows. A small flickering flame of hope, yet surrounded by the dark weight of what was to come. The shadows swirled close, revealing flickers of dread, of hidden horrors tangible in the air. "Arthur!" Lily whispered, pulling at his sleeve, her wide eyes reflecting varying shades of fear and bravery. "The necklace, we need to find it. Please." The intensity of the moment crashed over him. The price was heavy, but they were at the edge of something grand and terrible. They were nearing the heart of the legacy that had entwined them, a tangled mess of love and agony. As Arthur stepped back toward the chest, the shadows shuddered violently, a foreboding warning spiraling from the dark corners. Could he brave what lay ahead? "Time is running out." The figure's voice sank into silence, cloaked in darkness as the shadows quickly advanced, with their deepest fears echoing around them. Arthur and Lily stood their ground. But could they withstand the terrifying power of buried truths before the darkness consumed them? Would they find the necklace, or would the secrets tear them apart? Arthur's heart pounded like a drum, each beat resounding in the silent tension that wrapped around them. The figure before them loomed larger, the shadows swirling like smoke when they began to move. "They can't help you, the shadows only know hunger," it jeered, eyes like hollows, a void that seemed to suck in the light. Arthur felt Lily grip his hand tighter, her fingers trembling like the autumn leaves outside the attic windows. "Don't listen to it," he urged, his voice steady even though his insides churned. "We need to find that necklace. We need to know. What if we don't?" Lily whispered, fear casting a pall over her innocent features. "What if it's all too dangerous?" Arthur looked down at the photograph, the image of his mother imprinted in his mind. He had watched her wear that necklace when he was just a child, always sparkling like the stars above. It felt like a lifeline, a connection to a world where everything made sense, a world that now felt lost in the abyss of shadows. Then, as if sensing his resolve, the figure shrieked, "Foolish children! Your courage will be your undoing. The necklace carries not only memories but a curse, a weight too heavy for your souls." With that, the figure lunged forward, shadows flicking like angry serpents. Arthur's instincts kicked in, he pulled Lily back just as a dark tendril threatened to ensnare them. "Run!" he shouted, his voice booming against the oppressive quiet. They darted deeper into the attic, dodging boxes and old furniture, fear propelling them forward. "What if we can't find it?" Lily panted, her breath quickening as they stumbled through the clutter. What if it's just a trap? Lily, focus. Arthur replied, forcing himself to keep calm despite the adrenaline coursing through him. They needed direction, and fast. Look. There. Lily pointed, her eyes brightening as another flash of light broke through the gloom. In a shadowy corner, a wooden stand loomed, adorned with more family heirlooms, each covered in dust and loss. Could it be there? Stay close. Arthur warned as they approached, their footsteps echoing ominously against the floorboards. From the corner, the shadowed figure began to reshape itself, swirling like smoke into a more defined silhouette. It spoke, voice echoing with sorrow, "What will you sacrifice to uncover the truth?" He clenched his jaw, determination hardening. "I will do whatever it takes," he declared, though doubt washed over him. This journey was a test of both fear and will, and they were unfurling a tale they were not yet ready to read. They searched frantically, moving past a broken mirror that threw distorted reflections back at them. Lily shivered, watching the dim light dance around the figure lurking in the corners. Arthur turned to her, his voice low. "Stay behind me, no matter what." "Arthur," she said suddenly, her voice small yet firm, "the necklace is our only hope, and maybe the answers we seek are right in front of us." He nodded, fixing his gaze on a small box hidden beneath a covering of fabric. "Help me move this." As they cleared the dust, the silence in the attic thickened, growing almost sentient. Suddenly, they were surrounded not just by shadows, but whispering winds of long-forgotten lives, thoughts that weren't theirs and secrets aching to be released. With trembling fingers, Arthur opened the box, but a shriek pierced the air like a knife as the figure now surrounded them. "Leave this place!" it cried, rage mixing with despair. "You know not what you awaken." In the box lay the necklace, glinting in the faint light, but just as Arthur reached for it, pain shot through him, a burning sensation coursing through his veins. He dropped back, clenching his stomach, gasping for breath. "Arthur!" Lily's voice cut through the haze, frantic and terrified. "What is happening?" He fought through the pain, his vision blurring as he gripped the edge of the box. "Lily, we have to take it. It's the key." With the shadows closing in, the weight of their family legacy teetered at the edge of destruction. Could he summon enough strength to claim the truth, or would the dark legacy claim them first? Just as he reached for the necklace once more, a deafening crack filled the air like thunder. "Run, Arthur!" Lily screamed, pulling him back as the attic trembled with unseen rage. In that chaos, they felt the world shift, and the question loomed larger: what had they truly awakened in their quest for answers? The shadows writhed around them like a living thing, coiling and intertwining as if punctuating every heartbeat with a dark intent. Arthur gritted his teeth, pushing through the pain that tore at his insides, desperate to shake off the horror creeping into their reality. "Just a little longer," he murmured, as Lily pulled him against a wall, the wood splintering slightly under their combined weight. Her eyes bore a fear he had never seen before, deep wells of anxiety reflecting the chaos around them. "Did you see that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "The box, it was glowing." "Don't think about it, Lily. We can't get distracted now," he said, determined but losing his footing in the sheer weight of her gaze. Yet, deep down, a flicker of curiosity battled with dread. What power did the necklace hold? What truth lay rotting beneath the surface of family stories? Just as they regained their breath, the figure surged forward, forming a mass that swallowed the feeble light around them. Its voice twisted through the rubble, shaking the very walls of the attic. "Your thirst for knowledge will consume you. Sacrifice is inevitable." Lily whimpered. Every instinct screamed for flight, but they had no way out. Arthur glanced around, panic setting in as he felt the heavy pulse of darkness crowding in on them. They were trapped in a web of shadows, and the only path forward seemed to rest with that accursed necklace. "Arthur, we have to leave," she urged, tugging at his arm. "I can't. If I don't find out what this is, then it's all for nothing." Just then, the floor creaked ominously, a groan reverberating deep within the house. Arthur looked up to see dust drifting down from the rafters, settling like memories long buried. They were running out of time. "I can't let this end like this, no time for regrets," he shouted, steeling himself as a wave of resolve crashed over him. Taking a deep breath, he stepped back toward the box, arms outstretched. "I have to know." The shadows hissed as they seemed to recognize his intent, tendrils inching closer in a sinister embrace. Lily grasped his wrist, eyes widening as the room darkened further. "Arthur, stop. We can't trust it. I can feel it. It's calling me." With every bit of strength, he fought through the agony that lanced through his veins, reaching for the necklace again. With one last surge, he plunged his hand into the box. The moment his fingers wrapped around the cool metal, a surge of energy blasted through him. His vision flashed as a torrent of memories outpoured, laughter, running through summer fields, tepid breeze whispering familial bonds. But then, abruptly, those images twisted into screams, tears, faces he barely recognized warping into pain and sorrow. The figure shrieked, a sound so piercing it rattled the very bones of the house. "Release it!" it bellowed, the echo growing louder as the room spun around them. "You will pay for the sins of the past." With that, everything exploded into a chaos of light and fear, a maelstrom of sound that swallowed them whole. Arthur staggered back, clutching the necklace as time itself fractured, only to hear Lily's voice piercing through the haze. "Arthur, don't you dare let it go." But just as he made a choice to fight against the darkness coiling in on them, they were engulfed by blinding light. And in that blinding moment, they were transported out of the attic, tumbling into an unknown realm that felt both terrifying and exhilarating. Where had they landed? What force had they unleashed? As silence enveloped them, questions larger than both of them hung in the air. Was this their escape or the beginning of something far worse? In the distance, a new figure emerged, cloaked in mist, eyes shining with ancient power. The air shifted around Arthur and Lily like a heavy cloak, pressing down on them from all sides. They found themselves on what appeared to be a cobbled path, lit by an eerie twilight glow. The landscape was surreal, distorted with shadows swaying like brushstrokes in a fever dream. "Where are we?" Lily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Panic fluttered in her throat, making it hard to breathe. "I don't know," Arthur replied, gripping the necklace tightly. It pulsed with an unsettling warmth against his skin, a constant reminder of the turmoil they had unleashed. From the mist emerged the cloaked figure, gliding toward them as if weightless. A shiver crawled up Arthur's spine, a gut instinct warning him. He studied the figure, the hood concealed its face, but something in the posture screamed authority. Then it spoke, the voice both soothing and menacing. "Welcome, seekers of truth," it said, each syllable curling around them like smoke. "You have meddled in forces beyond your comprehension." The shadows shifted, whispering secrets only half formed. Lily clutched Arthur's arm, her fingers trembling. "What do you want from us?" Her voice cracked, fear evident in her stance. "I want nothing but to reveal the truth," the figure replied, the air thickening with tension. "But truth carries a price. You've awakened long-buried memories that should have remained untouched. Are you prepared to bear the weight of what you may uncover?" Arthur exchanged glances with Lily. The weight of their decision hung like a blade above them. "What do you mean?" he asked, voice shaky but firm. "What memories?" "There are stories woven into the fabric of your family's past. Stories of pain, betrayal, and power," the figure continued, folding its hands into the long, flowing sleeves. "Your bloodlines are intertwined with secrets that gnaw at the edges of your reality. The necklace is a key, a gateway. But use it wisely, or it could lead to your undoing." Lily took a small step back, swallowing hard. "Arthur, we need to get back." "We can't," but he shook his head. "We can't run away from this, Lily. Not anymore. I need to know what our families hid." "Desire for knowledge can be dangerous," the figure warned, leaning closer, an unseen force pulling Arthur into its gaze. Are you ready to face the shadows of your lineage? To confront the sacrifices made to keep those secrets safe? What sacrifices? Arthur challenged, a fire igniting within him. My family has always believed in protecting the ones we love. If this is what it takes, then I won't shy away. As those words tumbled out, the mist around them thickened, swirling violently as if responding to his challenge. The cloaked figure raised its hand, shadows snapping to attention in a frenzy. Very well. But know this, darkness does not yield easily. Remember, the past shapes us, but it's the choice in the present that defines who we become. With a flick of its wrist, the shadows condensed at Arthur's feet, swirling upwards rapidly, taking on forms familiar yet twisted, echoes of those he held dear. Ghostly faces flashed by, voices murmuring words once spoken, and layered memories came rushing back, the grief thickening the air. No. Lily gasped, stepping in front of him as if trying to shield him from the past. Arthur, don't let it drown you. Yet his heart raced with an unshakable resolve, as a powerful wave of memories crashed over him. Flickers of laughter turned into voices of sorrow, and images of family gatherings morphed into glimpses of devastating isolation. The shadows trembled, fluctuating between clarity and darkness, as he fought to grasp the truth buried within. What had this power unearthed? Was this a chance or simply a trap laid for them? Amidst the chaos, a pinprick of light flickered in the distance, beckoning to Arthur with a haunting familiarity. He started to move toward it, heart pounding with realization. Wait! Lily shouted, pulling him back. We don't know what lies ahead. But he couldn't stop now. The call of understanding surged within him, racing toward that light, eager to reveal the consequences of their choices. With the memories dancing like phantoms around him, he took a determined step forward. I have to know. And in that moment, the final whisper of shadows fell silent, held back for just a heartbeat longer. What awaited them in the light? Would the truth rekindle their bonds or shatter them forever? The light pulsed like a heartbeat, drawing Arthur closer as if it had its own will. He felt the warmth wash over him, igniting something deep within. He turned to Lily, searching her eyes for reassurance, but found only a reflection of his own fear. Come on, Lily. It's calling to us. He urged, trying to mask the tremor in his voice. Arthur, don't. She shouted, her voice breaking through the heavy mist. You don't know what's out there. But every fiber of his being urged him forward. The light flickered and danced, casting haunting shadows that writhed on the cobblestone path. With one last glance at Lily, Arthur crossed the threshold. As he stepped into the light, a wave of energy surged through him. Memories unrolled like a film, vivid and unsettling. He saw his mother, her hands trembling, tears staining her cheeks as she whispered a name, Evelyn. The name tugged at his heart, but he didn't understand the weight it carried. The world around him shifted, and he found himself standing in a warm room filled with laughter and warmth. Arthur. A small voice called, pulling him deeper into the vision. A little girl, perhaps no more than 7, stood before him, her eyes bright with innocence. She wore a dress that seemed to shimmer against the dullness of the rooms that surrounded them. Do you want to play with me? Before he could respond, the scene began to twist and distort. The warmth faded, replaced by cold shadows. The girl's laughter turned into a chilling echo, replaced by whispered arguments. The room morphed into a dimly lit hallway, doors slamming, and the girl's cries echoed like a haunting refrain. Why didn't you help me? The voice pierced his heart. It was filled with pain and desperation. Arthur stumbled back, grappling with the flood of emotions that twisted within him. He wanted to reach out, wanted to comfort her, but the shadows closed in. Arthur. Lily's voice broke through the chaos. She had followed him into the light. She reached for him, and when their hands touched, a rush of warmth enveloped them both. It pushed back the shadows, illuminating the path ahead. What's happening? She gasped, eyes wide, as she felt the weight of the memories crash over them. It's the truth, Arthur stammered, breath catching in his throat. I think this girl, she's part of our history. The cloaked figure reappeared, its presence imposing, both calm and threatening. You seek truth, yet truth is woven with pain. To know the past is to understand the present, but beware, for it can unravel everything you thought you knew. Let us see it. Arthur shouted, voice shaking with a mix of fear and anger. Let us uncover the truth. The figure raised a hand, and Arthur felt a sudden pull. With a snap, a door appeared, barely visible against the shadows. It creaked open, revealing a swirling vortex of memories, emotions, and dark secrets. Step through, the figure murmured, but know this, once you enter, there is no coming back unchanged. Lily hesitated, looking between Arthur and the doorway. Do we dare? She asked, her voice barely more than a whisper, laced with uncertainty. Do we have a choice? Arthur replied, heart racing. I need to know who we are. The pull against them intensified, as if the very fabric of reality was luring them in. The light beckoned, but the shadows whispered warnings of despair. With a deep breath, Arthur took a step toward the door, but Lily grabbed his wrist, halting him just before he crossed the threshold. Arthur! What if this changes us forever? At that moment, everything hung in the balance, feelings swirling like the shadows around them. With the memory of the little girl haunting his thoughts and the weight of the cloaked figure's words pressing down like a heavy stone, Arthur knew the decision lay on his shoulders alone. Together? He asked, meeting Lily's gaze. Together, she nodded, determination flickering in her eyes. They stepped forward together, into the unknown where memories awaited and truths long hidden lay ready to be revealed. As the door creaked wider, Arthur felt the world shift around them, but not before catching a glimpse of something sinister lurking just beyond the entrance. A brief flicker of shadows emerged, a darker presence that seemed to watch them, waiting. What awaited them inside? Would the truth strengthen their bond, or would it tear them apart in ways they never imagined? The moment they crossed into the vortex, the world around Arthur and Lily was swallowed in a wave of light and shadow. The air crackled with energy, and they felt the very essence of memories stirring within them. It was as if every whispered secret, every flicker of laughter, and every tear shed had accumulated here in this surreal realm. Stay close, Arthur urged, heart pounding. He pulled Lily against him, the warmth of her presence grounding him amidst the kaleidoscope of visions swirling all around. The landscape morphed from a swirling fog to vivid scenes, each punctuated by sensations from their past, laughter bursting like fireworks, the scent of warm cookies baking, and the sharp pang of despair. They stumbled upon memories like stepping stones across a river of time. Arthur saw himself as a child, carefree and laughing as he chased a little girl with wild hair through a sunlit garden. Is that us? Lily whispered, awe filtering through her voice as she stared at the smiling faces, but the laughter faded, swallowed by shadows creeping in like a dense fog. Anguished cries pierced through the atmosphere, and the once vibrant scenes twisted into dark echoes filled with fury and regret. Arthur clenched his fists, fueled to find the truth he sought. Keep going, he said firmly, determination surging in him like an electric current. Every memory was a clue, every emotion a thread weaving their destinies together. As they pressed forward, more faces emerged, memories connecting and distorting. Then they found themselves in a dim room, the walls adorned with old photographs. Arthur's heart sank as he recognized the stern visage of his father, hard and unyielding, shadows clutching at his features. Your legacy is built on secrets, echoed a young woman's voice, one that made his chest tighten. Emily, he whispered, recalling the name. Suddenly, scenes exploded with life. He saw his mother brushing the girl's hair, a necklace gleaming, his heart racing with recognition. Is that the necklace? Lily pointed, her innocent eyes wide as she angled closer. The pendant was unmistakable, a silver heart that pulsed softly as if it held stories of both love and sorrow. What happened to her? Arthur breathed out, desperation creeping in. If she was part of my past, why are we here? This is not just your past, it's ours, Lily spoke, voice steady. What your family hid, my family hid too. As realization dawned, the air turned heavier, shadows stretching ominously. Arthur felt the darkness press against him, oppressing yet invigorating. They were retracing the steps of pain buried under years of silence. Memories swirled like a tempest, the truth looming like a predator in the night. Find the key, the cloaked figure's warning echoed through the atmosphere, but do not lose yourselves. Arthur focused on the necklace, thoughts racing. Where is it? The way to free the past. He grasped Lily's hand tighter, willing the strength of the bond between them to push through the weight of darkness. A wave of understanding rushed in, guiding him. Lily! He exclaimed urgently, the heart. What if we have to connect with it? It's holding the memories, the pain we need to face. Together, she echoed. We can do this. With a newfound resolve, they stepped closer to the heart-shaped pendant, now radiating warmth in the chilling silence. Arthur could feel the shadows writhe around them, watching, waiting. Focus on the love, he said deeply as the glint of the necklace ignited something within him. Let it guide us. They closed their eyes, thoughts entwining as they reached out to grasp the emotional essence of the necklace. Past, present, and future surged like a waterfall. The darkness recoiled, the whispers growing faint as light engulfed the room. The memories flowed into them like a rushing river, and they gasped as images exploded. There, they saw Emily bend down, her sorrow-filled eyes glistening with tears. Her lips whispered words of comfort to an empty room, the hurt wrapped around her like a shroud. They witnessed her battle of grief, of loss, of love buried beneath the facade of family pride. Mommy! Lily cried, heartbreak piercing her voice like a long-lost melody. We have to help her. As Arthur held her hand, he felt the marrow of courage spring forth. We can heal this, he murmured, knowing they bore not just the past but the responsibility of choosing hope amidst darkness. A clarion call surged through him, resonating within like a flame, igniting warmth in both their hearts. Mommy, we're here. Lily shouted into the void, determination weaving through her resolve. You're not alone anymore. And then, the shadows began to lift, unraveling around them as the light grew brighter, swirling into a dazzling display of colors. Arthur felt the sharp pang of pain, the remnants of unexpected sorrow evaporating into the air. Memories melded into softness, lessons learned echoing through the unveiling tapestry between them. They mended the fractures that ran deep in their family and themselves. Suddenly, they stood before a figure encased in luminescence. Emily, radiant and freed from the shackles of despair, stretched out her arms. Her smile resonated with warmth, a profound joy illuminating every corner, filling the dim spaces they had wandered. Thank you, she whispered, almost inaudibly. Thank you for bringing me home. Lily rushed into her embrace, joy spilling from her like sunlight breaking through the mist. We found you. Arthur felt the swell of emotions surge in him, overwhelming yet comforting. He watched the connection deepen before him, a bond of love, regained through a tapestry of courage and acceptance. The burden and shadows of the past fell away like autumn leaves. As he embraced them tightly, he felt the ghosts dissipate, and darkness retreat, leaving a promise behind: hope, love, and a commitment to nurture one another. And so, surrounded by the golden glow of rekindled love, Arthur knew they had emerged not just unscathed but reborn. They had unearthed the hidden treasures of their past, each memory, a building block for their new beginning. With one last look around this sacred space filled with light and love, Arthur felt a rush of gratitude swell within his heart. We're together now, he whispered, the warmth of their embrace replacing the cold void that once plagued him. Let us make sure we never lose each other again. In that moment, the world shifted, and realization sparkled in the air. Life would twist and turn, but they could walk together, armed with love and truth. The darkness had unveiled itself yet found no power. It was love that triumphed, igniting a fire that would light their path going forward. As they stepped out of the luminescent space, the shadows no longer lurked behind, but instead joined together, a mosaic of memories awakened, of sorrow and laughter, of courage and unyielding bonds. This was not the end but a new beginning. A promise to be brave, a vow to cherish every moment, and the courage to embrace the light that now filled their lives, and so, they stepped into their future together. Now that you've shared this heartfelt journey with us, don't forget this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories coming your way. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and let others find this story too. Flood the comments section with your reactions, thoughts, and theories about this ending. Your voice matters. And lastly, share this video with at least 5 friends who absolutely need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to share. Real fans understand the importance of lifting this community together.